Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. It's Paulie, Esther here, and we got some more information about the Hallowed Blight event coming up on October the 19th. It's going to be pretty spoiler heavy, so it's up to you. It's going to get progressively more spoilery as we go into it. It's up to you to decide how much you want to watch. Okay, so Skemooo is a YouTuber who takes the cosmetics that are leaked from PTB files and they turn those into videos with 4K renderings in Blender. And Skemooo is a technical wizard. I don't even understand the sentence that I said, let alone have the ability to do what Skemooo does. So if you're somebody who is very interested in the upcoming cosmetics, I would suggest you subscribe to Skemoo's channel. For example, if you're looking forward to this Kate cosmetic that's coming out in 2 days, I believe, this All-American Kate, you can get a sneak peek of it by watching Skemoo's video that shows that not only is Kate patriotic with her blouse, she's patriotic with the bum of her jeans. Have a look. So that's just a little snippet of one of Skemoo's videos. There's another one that has all of the Hallowed Blight Event killers in it. As this video progresses, I'll give you a little snip of that to encourage you to go and watch the full video that Skemooo put out. So first, Skemooo started with just these 4K still renderings because their computer's a little old and they were having problems with the motherboard, I believe, getting the full render done. So they graced us with these 4K renderings of the killers on Reddit, and they're giant images. I'll put the links to them in the description below so you can look at them, blow them up if you want. So we have here the Trapper, and then the Wraith, the Huntress, the Hillbilly, and the Doctor. And so then this Reddit user, Jeremy Fisher, turned a couple of these into some stunning wallpapers. And I'll give you the links of those in the video description as well. Here they did this wallpaper of the Wraith, the Huntress, and the Doctor. They all look really cool. Again, links in the description if you want to download those and make those into your computer wallpaper. So you can't tell in all of these 4K still renders, but you can see that on some of these, and it's obvious in the video of Skemooo, which I'll show you in a bit, that all of the killers have these vials stuck in their back. Some of them have them in their weapons very clearly, of this fluid that looks like this legacy fluid. I'm assuming that it comes from these flowers, and I'll get into that a little bit more, but you can see that they've all been like stuck with these syringes, which has caused them all to mutate, is the belief here. And as promised, I'm going to show you this little snippet from Skemoo's 4K Blender rendering of the Hallowed Blight killers. Check out the link in the description to see all of the killers in this rendering because it's very cool. So these syringes seem to be filled with what they call this Putrid Serum. The Dead by Daylight wiki was updated yesterday, and I have no reason to believe that the information isn't accurate. I talked to somebody who works on the wiki, and they said that whoever updated the wiki got this information from a very trusted source, so I do believe it all to be accurate. Okay, so it says the nectar vial acts as a meter which is filled by interacting with the event objectives. A filled nectar vial will grant the player 1 Putrid Serum. The Putrid Serum acts as a currency which is obtained by filling nectar vials. It is exclusive to the Hallowed Blight event and will expire shortly after it ends. It is used to purchase the Hallowed Blight cosmetics for the Trapper, the Wraith, the Hillbilly, the Doctor, and the Huntress. In the challenge, the event features personal challenges that require the player to fill nectar vials in order to unlock Putrid Serum, which they can use to buy the Cosmetic Rewards. Each map will spawn 2 visceral cankers and 2 cankerous hooks by default. The player can find and burn a new offering called the Pustula Petals, calling upon the entity to put in additional cankers and hooks up to a total of 7 cankers and hooks per game. The player fills the nectar vial when they harvest visceral cankers or hook survivors for the first time on cankerous hooks to extract putrid nectar. They also gain bonus blood points for doing so. All bonus blood points are awarded post-trial during the tally screen and only if the player had burnt a Pustula Petals offering. Survivors will lose a bit of nectar should they die during the trial. Oof. The player needs to fill as many nectar vials as possible, which will then be turned into putrid serums with which one can unlock the Hallowed Blight Cosmetic Rewards. Are there any survivor cosmetics? I didn't think so, but then somebody pointed out that this version of Claudette has this glowing serum all over her smock. So perhaps she is also part of the event. Perhaps there are also other survivor cosmetics that we can buy. We have this lovely rendering of Claudette with the syringe that makes it look like she's the one responsible for mutating all of the killers. I don't know, but it's going to be fun. So now we're going to get into some lore. There are daily log entries. We believe they were placed by Benedict Baker, but we don't know for sure. There's over a dozen here that go from the first day of the event through to Halloween, and I'll go through them with you. But again, it's gonna get spoilery. It may even have a tease for who the next killer is going to be in the next chapter. So be aware that if you watch any further, you're going to get some of that information. All right, here we go. Each event day features a unique piece of lore, likely from Benedict Baker's journal, the Hallowed Blight lore. October the 19th, the night. It is impossible to describe the horrifying scenes I have witnessed. Death and misery in every shape of terror rule this place. I can no longer recall how I have come to this place. All I remember is the opaque, milky fumes of opium in the murky den, hazing a sweet, welcoming abyss. I awoke to dreadful screams in this endless night, at the feet of an old tree that leaked foul-smelling fluids. I know not how to reach those poor souls, nor do I want to. Keeping a record is all I can do to make sense of it. October 20th, Vigo. I discovered a hidden laboratory while running away from a monster. Its stocks are uncommonly plentiful. I observed shelves of alkaloids, crates of silver syringes, piles of protective clothes, and a journal signed Vigo. Its pages are filled with notes on an ancient force that controls the nature of this place, that shapes it. I also noted a few drawings of the growing cankers that I've seen on the trees. October 21st, The Blight. I have been obsessively deciphering Vicos Journal. His work is elegant but erratic, drawing obscure conclusions from disjointed fields. Most entries mention a powerful force, the entity, which undergoes a purge that occurs once a year. During this period, the entity is infested with blight. According to Vigo, cankers bloom into pustulas, a type of flower that spurts putrid nectar, the thick fluid I saw oozing from the trees. The last pages of the journal mention a serum distilled from the nectar, but the pages detailing its effects and preparation were torn out. So, the person writing this journal, probably Benedict, calls Vigo a he. So do we actually know the gender of Vigo, or is Benedict merely assuming Vigo's gender? Who knows? All right, here we go. October 22nd, Wounded. I'm hiding in a dense strip of forest. I'm desperate to erase the distressful images engraved in my mind. Last night, a disfigured man barged into the laboratory with a gruesome mechanical mouth and shred the walls into splinters. I barely escaped with my life and wounded my arm in the process. I have no options left. These monsters find me no matter where I go. All I have is a journal filled with obscure promises of escape. I will return to the laboratory. So who would have the gruesome mechanical mouth? The doctor? Perhaps a new killer? Probably the doctor, right? October 23rd. Experiment. I'm close to death. I can feel it. When I returned to the laboratory, I started experimenting with the putrid nectar and distilled it into a foul serum. But I made a terrible mistake. I injected the serum into a dead rodent whose pupils dilated and its body shook. I tried to restrain it, but the creature bit into my arm, ripping my wound open. I stopped the bleeding, but I fear the damage is done. October 24th, experiment number 2. I woke to a terrible cry booming from the cellar and a violent bout of nausea. Through the vile ordeal, I started to recollect what had happened. Tainted with the foul serum, my wound had swollen with lymph, at which point my assailant returned. Most of our fight was a blur, but I can recall red tears trickling down his gruesome cheeks as I clawed at his face, and some moment later when I kicked him, sending him crashing into the brick wall. The power I felt then, there are no words for it. I now know there is truth to Vicos' methods. Another cry. My assailant, now chained in the cellar, must be getting restless. This is just the beginning. So the monster with the mechanical mouth is chained in the cellar of the laboratory? October 25th, the peak. I should have foreseen his escape, given the potent dosage I administered him, but I needed to see results. Pustula flowers are now blooming on the path leading to the laboratory. According to Vicos Journal, this rapid spread is a sign that the blight is at its peak. Soon there will be no more putrid nectar to extract. Alright, so the monster escaped. October 26th, exhausted. I slept very little. The acute throbbing in my wound sent me on a restless, agitated drowse. I have no strength left to be patient, and my distress fosters brutal methods. There are no lines I will not cross. October 27th, restless. I limited my rest to only a few minutes here and there. I cannot afford wasting time. Pustulas, once lush with nectar, were withering away at the roots of cankerous trees. I could only extract droplets from a few frail flowers. I'm running out of time. October 28th, at last. Based on Vicos' calculations, tonight is my last chance. I filled a syringe with the last drops of serum and injected it into my arm. October 29th, the end. I did everything right and failed. I'm stuck in this infernal place with no serum and nowhere to hide. October 30th, Vigo 2. I looked for Vigo. I shouted his name with no concern for the monsters lurking about. I need to find him. I picture the scene, etching a canvas of wild lines in my mind, focusing on the moon, and I know something is off. I fed the dead rodent under my pillow. October 31st, pray. Soon, very soon, I will be at peace. The cold claws of death are drawing near. It's here. The entity is here. It has found me. So, if that is Benedict, does that mean that the entity has taken Benedict now? The one who was always able to document things throughout the game, give us clues about how to play the game, and has now been taken by the entity? It's always been said that once you lose hope, that you become a killer and the entity takes you. Does this mean Benedict is going to be a killer? Is this a setup for Chapter 10, and this unseen Vigo will be the survivor and Benedict will be the killer? I don't know. It definitely enriches the lore quite a bit. Everything sounds really cool. I'm looking forward to it. So looking at the calendar, it looks like we should get the next chapter roughly around December the 11th or the 18th, depending if they want to do it every 12 weeks or 13 weeks per season. So with this ending at Halloween, that leaves us about 6 weeks before the next chapter would come out. Is this all building up to a tease for the next chapter? I'm not sure. But there's a lot of lore here. It's very interesting. The event sounds great. Just when I think there's a lull coming to Dead by Daylight and things are calming down, they have a way of just sucking me back in and getting me super excited again. This sounds like it's going to be a great event. I'm looking forward to grinding on it. And I'm going to set up all my blood webs so that I can get the pustula petals. We still don't know what these clapboards mean. Some people have said that the 1, 2, 3 seem to mimic the Evil Within 1, 2, and 3 Roman numerals on Michael Myers. Is there some indication that we might get some super secret official licensed Halloween cosmetics? I sure hope so, but I don't have anything to indicate that yet. Check out this really cool custom-made mature Laurie Strode by Loud Window Christopher. It looks amazing and so real. I wish it was real. When I first saw it, I was freaking out. I thought it was real. Maybe one day we can get something that cool. We'll have to wait and see. Okay, that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, everybody. It looks like it's going to be an amazing Halloween event. Take care. Bye-bye.